Lucky Lefty podcast. Notre Dame, 41-17 over Central Michigan. The
Handling
Onora
business.
boys are in the building, brought to you by Onora Whiskey. OnoraWhiskey.com, that premium American whiskey. OnoraWhiskey.com. And if you drink, by all means, make sure you do so
Responsibly.
You got to do it responsibly. And we are on CFB Nation, presented by Twisted Tea. Yeah.
Twisted. Yeah, vocals.
Oh, man. Audio edibles every day. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, home of the misguided passion. You already know. We spin it
different.
First half of the show, we're going to talk about the game, and then the second half of the show, I got something to say.
That's right.
Just leave it at that. Let's start with your three keys and how your three keys turned out left.
Well, I knew Central Michigan was going to have something up their sleeve early. That's why scoring 28 before half was very important. Did they get the 28 and a half, or it was like 21 or something?
No, it was 21-14 and a half.
Yeah. So, it was still leading going into half. It just is like, I think obviously as the film accumulates, people are going to have better and better game plans to start hot. But I think this is why Notre Dame is so different this year, is because we're really not going with the narrative that we always went with. It's like, yeah, teams are going to give us a good shot. Teams are going to play us tough. But the games are about us. And we're scoring our point total. And we're doing the things that, make us good already. And it's refreshing that the score is reflecting how we've been talking about this Notre Dame team since we started the podcast. And so it's good to see, a lot of guys get involved. Chris Tyree had big plays, long touchdown catch. You see Tobias in there. The running game looks good. Audric balled out. So it's really showing a lot of credit to Marcus Freeman and what he was able to do in 2 years. He's transformed the perspective of this team in just 2 years. When's the last time Notre Dame been averaging 47 a game? When? At any point in Brian Kelly's era? Okay, enough. So it's legit.
Look, there's a lot of things we can dig into. Penalties, inconsistencies. The production is still there. And ultimately, games are lost and won on the scoreboard. Like you want to have the most points at the end of the game. It's as simple as that. That's competition. You said Jim McElwain and Charlie Fry would have something up their sleeve. You said that. You warned Notre Dame fans, like, yo, if Central Michigan puts up 14 points, we said it on Friday's show, like, everybody's going to go crazy if Central Michigan puts up 14 points in the first half, and that's exactly what they did.
That's exactly what they did. I told you.
And Notre Dame fans are losing their mind all over social media, pumping up certain players like they're the greatest thing at one position in the history of Notre Dame. We'll get to that in a minute. But
wait, what? The greatest what?
Oh yeah, dude. Notre Dame social media lost their mind, dude. Notre Dame fans are told certain things. It's not like they know it, right? They're not at practice, in the building. They're told certain things or pick up certain things on the broadcast by the broadcasters or from coaches. And all of a sudden it becomes what they spit out to answer everything. It's the answer to everything. Instead of just flat out looking at what it is. It's amazing. But yeah, you didn't know JD Tayal played yesterday? Well, was missing yesterday? Yeah, JD Tayal didn't play yesterday. He didn't play yesterday.
Y'all called the man JD Tayal.
JD Tayal, he didn't play yesterday.
No, it's JT Schmidt. It's JD Schmidt.
Mm-mm.
I can't appreciate though Maris though. Maris
They
is
can't
starting to look.
JD Tayal, boy. That cat Manti Bertrand was injured yesterday. He was in concussion protocol
Mm,
and was unable to go. Mm, mm, mm,
mm, mm, mm.
mm, mm, mm.
But we knew Central Michigan was gonna come out with something. We knew it. I was telling you all week. It's a good coaching staff. You know, they just don't got the necessary talent. I was around them. You know, I love how they go about their business, and so Notre Dame, yeah. But that's why Notre Dame is built for it tough. We're ready for all of that. You know, because we have been through the fire and through the fire of expectations. How long have we had the expectations that we can't do it? It's been 10 years. 10 years of you guys can't win a big game. You guys can't do it. Y'all
Yeah.
overrated. I don't know why college football playoffs put y'all in there anywhere close. Y'all don't deserve to be there. We've heard it all. Marcus Freeman has heard it all. And in just 2 years, we averaging 47 undefeated after a 9-4 season. Or 9-5. Was it 9-5? 8-5?
Yeah.
After 8-5 season. We looking like we trying to go all the way. Sam Hartman is second in the nation in efficiency behind Caleb. He's shaping up to be a great matchup in a few weeks. And everybody's playing well off of that.
Lucky Lefty podcast. Let's get to it. I think, in my opinion, had just the energy, the day. It was just yesterday was just one of those Saturdays in college football, bro. Just everybody was having close games. It just and the fact, look, previously that game is 20, probably 27-17 in previous years.
You talking about our game against it? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The way
we
Notre
scored
Dame
in the
was
last
playing,
fourth quarter.
keeping
And then
Central Michigan in the game, making mistakes, continuing drives with penalties. You know how that goes.
yeah,
We've
Central
seen this
Michigan should have
story
been
before.
would have been driving in the end, and we make a heroic
Absolutely,
play.
absolutely, absolutely. But
But
the
not in
game
fear
ends
of
up.
losing necessarily. But we
No,
ride that line like at any moment they can upset us.
absolutely. And the game ended up being 41-17, right? So whereas nobody honestly really felt Central Michigan was a threat yesterday,
No,
right? Notre
nobody.
Dame penalties took 14 points off the board for Notre Dame,
Yep.
right? Then we get into a couple of times in the second half, we get into Central Michigan territory, and Sam Hartman just, I don't know, just missed wide open receivers.
Yeah.
He missed Rico on the out pattern to the right, just wide open, just overthrew him.
Uh,
He misses him over the middle, wide open. Just you know, he was
playing
just
to where
off.
he lands in the tier. I mean, what do you
Absolutely, he
mean?
was just off. So when you think about it, it's just one of those days. And the fact that they still produced 41 points, defense gave up 3 points after halftime.
That's on brand for our defense. We good at not allowing a team to just overload us with points in the second half. We make good adjustments, you know.
So that means the defense was okay in the second half, right? I'm just asking that. I'm setting things up. for my rant. I'm setting things up on my rant. Defense was straight in the second half, right?
Yeah, only gave
They
up
gave
3.
up 3 points.
Yeah,
Played pretty good.
I would say more
Okay.
than that if you give up 3 points.
Okay. I just want to make sure, because JD Te'o wasn't on the field in the second half. I just want to make
Hey,
sure.
we just clearing things up. He definitely had wasn't on the field, and we were still somehow able to find a way to play good on the defensive side of football, giving up 3 points against a team who we knew was going to come out and give us something to stress for in the beginning. But
Now, that cat Marcus Freeman, remember I said this on the sideline against North Carolina State and how he was getting on the referees? That man followed the referees up the tunnel. Dude, yesterday was like, dude, the ACC refs yesterday, and I'm like, man, forget the refs. Like, play ball.
those refs will make themselves important for sure.
Yesterday was pretty awful. Yesterday was pretty awful. It just was. And there's nothing else to say. Whoever is responsibility for the cut-ups to send to the ACC, man,
Well,
you got a
last week
lot
we
to cut
had
up.
10 penalties for 82 yards, and we mentioned that. And we said that might be, even though we won in a good fashion, those 10 penalties for 82 yards is unlike us, and it's a lot. It's a lot. A lot of penalties. So to follow
It's
that up with and I don't think the refs helped us too much, but hell, that's 2 weeks, 18 penalties. It's a lot.
yeah, yeah. It was just really bad. Like that Josh Burnham penalty. It was, dude, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? Regardless of whether or not you think it's ticky tack, it's dumb. It's just dumb. And it leads to 7, dude. So the defense has Central Michigan off the field, but the penalty continues that it. I understand why it was a frustrating first half for Notre Dame fans on
Right.
both sides of the ball,
Yeah.
right? Missed opportunities, penalties, kind of a continuation of what we saw in North Carolina State early.
Yeah.
Right? But get it out of the way now.
Because next week we got to play a complete game.
Was it possible that Notre Dame Florida State was looking ahead?
Hell,
It was
Colorado was
obvious.
looking ahead.
Colorado was definitely looking ahead. It's like, yo, teams look ahead.
Yeah.
It happens if you get these types of games.
Happens.
But once again, 41-17. And they left 14 points on the field.
Yeah.
Holden Stage took, Audric should have had 200 yards yesterday.
Easily.
Like 240. Holden Stage. What you grabbing this dude for? For what? You coming around, choose the outside or the inside and let your running back run off of you.
Yeah.
That's it. It's simple.
You want to
come
overly
around
grab up on him and
yes.
Why? For what?
If he just chooses a side, Audric's gone.
Yeah, if you just let you do your job and get a piece of them, and we got great running backs that can make you look better.
It was just absolutely amazing to watch it for 2 weeks straight. Understand why it was frustrating. But at the end of the day, as long as that performance and that sloppiness doesn't show up next Saturday, because it's week to week, that Central Michigan game has absolutely nothing to do with next week.
No, it's just the game we had to play before next week.
Sam Hartman, 16 of 26, 330, 3 touchdowns, 87.6 QBR. Audric Estimé, 20 carries, 176 yards, man. Once again, it should have been 21 carries for 240
For
something.
for 250. Would have broke the school record or something. Something
Man,
crazy.
crazy what the young man was able to do. Jace Bauer, 10 of 20, 137. What? You mean to tell me, wait a minute, Notre Dame gave up a total of 268 yards? The Notre Dame defense gave up a total of 268 yards without J.D. Teal? What? They gave up less than 300 yards without J.D. Teal on the field?
I don't know how that's possible.
I don't know.
I mean, anywhere else in college football universe, if you give a total of that, you would think it's an A1 day.
Man.
So, yeah, I mean, I think we're a team that has, as a fan base, overinflated bar expectations. And that we get super critical over things that to 99% of college football would think is a good day. I mean, look at the fact that Alabama struggled.
Bro, are you kidding?
Now, are you surprised? I feel like Saban didn't watch none of us play last year. Did he not see what he did? And Tyler, do you not remember what the man did to you at the previous school? And how much of a difficult road that was at the previous school? I don't get it.
Lucky Lefty podcast. Let's get to the team grades because I had to get to the second half of this show, bro. Start with Sam Hart. Hey, bro. From the jump, big bomb, the Tobias big bomb, the Chris Tyree. We need that on film. Ohio State needs to see that. Other teams need to see that. Audric Estimé, 170 plus yards.
The standard.
Hey, man, that dude, let me tell you something, Left. That Audric Estimé showed me some athleticism yesterday.
Well, you said he had some quick feet doing the ladders last year.
The dude. I knew he had great feet for a big dude, but man.
Yeah. Hey.
He's consistently outrunning safeties, bro.
Well, you get a head of steam and you don't have any worry about the second level. I mean, the first two levels, you only imagine these safeties are scared. 240 running full speed, nobody slowing him down because they're getting blocked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Safety's like, let me get you from the side or try to trip you up because I'm not taking that on head speed.
Yeah. You know, the first thing, it's so funny because I'm like, okay, this cat, Charlie Fry, either has been listening to Lucky Lefty and Malik Zaire or he's been watching film. You know what they immediately came out and did? Threw to the flat to the running back.
Easily. They're like, look, you guys ain't going to tackle in the space.
They was like, yo, let's threaten these linebackers and see if they can tackle in space.
Charlie Fry smart, man. I'm telling you, he know what he's looking at.
First play from scrimmage on defense, Thomas Harper. Doesn't wrap up.
We got you in here to tackle. That's how you got here. Because you can tackle.
Same stuff we've been listening to. Same problems. Same problems whether or not JD Teal is on the field or off the field. The same problems. Teams attack us the same way. That's all I'm saying.
The JD Teal is crazy.
Hey, Lucky Lefty podcast. That's who he is. According to Notre Dame fans, that's exactly who he is, bro.
JD Te'o, man.
So your grade for Sam Hartman.
Look, we're hitting our marks. 41, 21 and a half. We're scoring throughout the game, so it's not like we're scoring in bunches and spurts.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think his veteran leadership in that game, just from playing all four quarters and having ebbs and flows, I mean, that's kind of what we expected and we wanted you to come out with. So I would definitely give him a B for that. Got to give Sam Hartman a B.
The stats are real tricky because the stats will make you want to give an A.
But you gotta watch the game. You gotta watch the game.
But he was off just a little bit, especially after he kind of had that little knee injury in the second half.
Yeah, you could tell it took a little toll on him a little bit, but I can't say an A because there were obvious things that in different team situations, in different, like Ohio State next week, you're not gonna get away with. But I mean, hell, I'm even overreacting to it a little bit because we haven't averaged 47 points like this in a shit ever.
Man.
And I think we have to, that has to come into effect somehow, from a fan's perspective of, listen, yeah, we might not make it look perfect all the time, but scoring 41 is not easy.
Yeah.
It's not. Even for teams like the game we played, where we're clearly better, we clearly got more things going for ourselves. But other teams practice too. Other teams game plan too. Other teams aren't going to lay down or not try because we all think we're going to win and we know we're going to win.
Yeah.
And I think we have to understand that as fans. Like, listen, teams are going to think they're going to try their best.
Yeah.
And because of that, it's not always going to be a clean sweep. We'll win. It may be a little gritty, but don't count us out. Give credit where credit due.
It's so funny because it's one of those games that's really boring to watch. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Boring to watch. I had to catch up. I actually had a funeral yesterday and I went to the interment. And when I came back, I was an hour behind. And I'm just sitting there looking like, man, this is a boring game. Like, it was one of those games that I was happy that the new running clock rules exist.
Yeah.
That.
It's like, get them out of here. Like, come on, let's get this running clock going.
Yeah, it was that boring.
Yeah. Do you think Marcus Freeman could get away with the antics like Deion at Notre Dame?
No. No. And it's not because of the university, it's because of the fans. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Have you seen the vitriol thrown towards Deion Sanders from Notre Dame fans?
But it's not even Colorado fans. It's everybody outside of the school on Deion. And I always thought, I was thinking, if Marcus Freeman was doing this, wearing the glasses in the press conference, addressing Pete Sampson out there, saying, "Do you believe?" What would the fans say?
No.
We winning though.
No. Not during a 9-4 season. He definitely couldn't get away with that. No. No way. No. You have to be. Hey, Marcus Freeman understands that man converted to Catholicism, bro. Marcus Freeman understands everything he has to do.
Yeah, he
He
said these are the steps. I gotta be Catholic. I gotta. That's just what's gotta happen.
he understands the positioning that he's in and how he has to position himself. He understands when he can let his swag out, and then he understands like, hey,
Some of these are just. I got his routine. I gotta just.
I gotta play the role, bro.
That's a fact.
I'm just saying, but no. Someone in the chat said that's who Prime is 100. Prime he couldn't come to Notre Dame.
No.
First of
But
all,
I'm
because
like, no, y'all acting like
first of all, because it would be too much light on him and not the university, and that would make the administrators really mad.
they would not like that. Just imagine they had
No,
Kawhi Leonard at the game, Dipset, Kevin Hart came by, The Rock was there. Like, why is The Rock there? He didn't even go to Colorado.
what's your boy name? The rapper, he performed in the locker room
Key
post game.
Glock, Key
Yeah,
Glock at the game. Why is Key Glock at the game? Shannon and
Chauncey
Stephen A.
Billups
come
and
to the game.
Chauncey Billups and Kyle Lowry up in the
Like
suite.
what? Lil Wayne performs right before the game. Just imagine that. Lil Wayne performing right before we walk on the field. Dion don't need a college game day. He brought college game day to Colorado.
Can you imagine that's your recruiting trip, bro?
You get a performance before the game from Lil Wayne. You get a celebration performance in the locker room. Like Key Glock had a mic and all. Like, what?
Like, let me make one. I see Royal Fingers. Celebrities don't like to be associated with trends. They like to be associated with Deion Sanders.
Facts.
Because celebrities will come into Jackson State. Like, let's not get it twisted.
Yeah, he had
It,
NLE Chopper walking out the
yes,
tunnel with him. Like, yeah, Jackson State. Yeah.
Gilly and all of them. Like, celebrities will come to Jackson State games. It ain't got nothing to do with a trend. Like, Prime is just one of them ones. He's just one.
It's just one of them ones.
He's just
He
one of them
attracts all
ones.
of that. He attracts all of that.
He's just one of them ones. I've never seen Twitter lit at 1 in the morning. I've never
Oh yeah.
seen Twitter lit. Twitter was lit at 1 in the morning.
Threads, full discussions, people
It was
using all their
crazy.
characters.
Notre Dame Twitter was lit during the game yesterday too. But Twitter was lit like 1 in the morning. I'm sitting up here like, yo, this
Reading
is
all of it.
bananas.
Reading all of it.
Yeah,
They got a problem with everything Shador does and
yeah,
got a problem with Dia. They said, oh, they should have lost. They was ready to jump on them too.
yeah.
They was ready to jump on them. I was like, oh, here we go.
It's what it is. So, B for Sam Hartman, offensive line. Actually, let me tell you something, man. That dude, if Sam Hartman had been seriously injured when Rocco Spindler just got bulldozed by the Central Michigan defensive tackle, I don't know if he would have been able to be on campus this week, bro.
No, no. They would have had the pitchforks ready.
Man, look here.
Because it's one thing to lose a rep. We
Bruh,
get, but you lost the rep so bad.
so
You put
bad.
our whole season in jeopardy. You put the whole season on the edge of the cliff and had everybody holding their breath like, I know we just didn't do this right before the biggest game of the year.
Look, when I saw that play, I was like, hey man, get him out of there, bro. Get him out of there. He messing with the franchise right now.
Yeah, you in there playing for real. We
Right.
gotta get you
You
out of here because that's unacceptable. I knew Marcus Freeman was clutching his pearls too because he turned
hmm
around and saw number 16. He's like, oh no,
yeah.
we can't go
So
there.
what's your offensive line grade?
Outside, I mean, I give him a B. I mean, 41 points. You got almost 200 yards rushing. I mean, it's very standard. I think it's one of those games, like you said, it was so boring, but it was boring because we were better, and because of that, it's hard to give us anything under a C, and the highest probably a B plus because we getting the point total that we always getting. We finishing games like we supposed to, so it's really a B all around. Now I feel like my real grade will come after next week. The real I think the real test for the team will come next week.
Uh-oh, I'm sorry, that cat Pacheco getting loose in the second half on your
Fantasy.
boys.
Oh man, listen, Jacksonville, we gonna be all right. It's a long season. I ain't even worried about right now. I care about winning the division against Anthony Richardson, who's in concussion protocol right now. And then we got the Titans. The Titans look all right, but they playing the Chargers. The Chargers have
Yo,
no defense. Like, what's up?
literally, Kansas City just came out and ran the Notre Dame Audric Estimé play against North Carolina State. No, in all seriousness.
Yeah.
And Pacheco went for like 45. So Audric Estimé is faster.
Oh, that's made faster. Like, what you think he really gonna run at the combine? Probably a 4.5.
It don't matter, bro. When he's on the field, he's outrunning safety. Dude, you know that clock time and that field time is totally different.
Yeah. I'm telling you, guys are afraid to hit him after 10 yards because he got a full head of steam because the front seven didn't slow him down. Them safeties like, man, and he's 240. Yeah, no chance. It's good. He's like Jerome Bettis with speed. It looks like.
Man, look, his ability, he's a better running back. He's a better running back. Aldrich had some good runs up at Ohio State last year.
Yeah, it was solid. He had like the second half. He was heating up early.
Yeah, yeah,
But they should start giving it to him up the middle. He's falling for 4, falling for 5.
yeah. So I'm not worried about Aldrich Estimé being able to run the ball against Ohio State. That's not what I'm worried about. Making plays in the passing game. That's the game.
That's the game.
And then defending the passing game. That's the game. That and being able to put some rush Kyle McCord and make him uneasy. Like that's the game. And no
Yeah. Ohio
turnovers and
State is
being
definitely
clean.
more worried about what they have to do than what we have to do going into the game.
You
They're
know,
worried to see
hey,
like, do we take the ball out of Kyle McCord's hands? Or how do we get the ball into Marvin Harrison Jr.'s hands unconventionally? Do we got
yeah,
to throw some swings and screens and short stuff? Because we're not trusting necessarily Kyle McCord under pressure throwing it down the field. So that's a lot to worry about.
it is something, even with the struggles at guard, Notre Dame's going to be able to run the ball. They're going to be able to run the ball. Uh, heck no, this is not Clemson from last year. You got an actual quarterback. Hecky no. Hecky no. 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 Matter of fact, I'm very interested as we go throughout the week how you think they should attack Notre Ohio State early in this game.
We should,
I'm very interested. How you think they should attack them early? Save it. Save it for the week.
yeah, save
Save
it.
it for the week.
May change right now.
Save it for the week. The wide receivers. They're in the A range because of the big
They were
plays.
open. They were in the A range because they were open, and
And Sam missed
he
open
missed
receiver.
open
Yes.
receivers.
Yes.
And that's something that, you know, we've seen such a revelation of guys being like, I'm running hard. Even if I know the play may not be for me, I know if I run hard out and Sam will see me, I might get the rock. So I definitely gotta give him a B plus. I ain't giving no A's today, but a B plus for sure.
You know what that means? That cat Travis Kelsey doing the stanky leg in the end
Yeah,
zone, boy.
yeah. He be getting after it too.
You know what that means?
Yeah,
Lucky
yeah.
Lefty podcast.
Look, it's a long season, man. I'm trying to tell you.
It is.
Trevor Lawrence just got to get his feet under him, and we're going to be all right. Stop. Trevor Lawrence is going for MVP this year, you know. So.
My turn.
What you gave him an A minus?
My turn.
Gave him an A minus. No, a B minus. Sorry. I mean B plus. Sorry.
Let's see. I wouldn't be mad with an A minus for the receivers yesterday.
They did their job.
They did, and they gave what you needed to see going into that Ohio State game.
Yes, I feel good going in knowing that, okay, receivers are going to try to get open. Audric Estimé is a constant denominator. The O-line hasn't been shaky. And Sam, you know, a little off. But hell, I think it's because he was bored.
Yeah.
Like last week against NC State, he's standing there hitting the right plays. He's got motivation himself. He's 0-2 at NC State. So he played a little more inspired. This week he's at home. He know this team is not good. He's like, all right, so you can get a little lazy in your throws and not be as locked in. But I'm not thinking that's gonna be Sam next week.
Yeah.
You know, I think if anything, that next week proves we made the right decision in the transfer portal. And hell, I was, on my trip this week, I'm talking to Buffalo, like the Buffalo coaching staff, and they're saying how hard it is to recruit high school kids now. They're telling high school kids, hey, go to JUCO for a year so you can get reps, and then we'll get you. Because it's so up to date now with the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
You're not taking a fresh out of high school kid that has some potential but hasn't had any college experience over the sophomore looking for a home that might come from a bigger school. So for high school kids, you damn near gotta go to JUCO for a year just to get the experience.
That's
because
crazy.
you're competing against transfer portal kids every year. So it's definitely changing the game of recruiting. But it also has shown a lot of impact on what it could look like not going great. And Alabama's a prime example. Look how much of a drop-off in just one season, how much of a drop-off they look.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where maybe they overestimated the impact or they didn't do their homework enough. One of the two. And I doubt is they didn't do their homework enough. But they brought in the two biggest headaches that we had.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I'm like, y'all didn't see us play last year? An 8-5 team, losing to Marshall, losing to Stanford.
Yeah.
And you pick up our two biggest headaches? I mean, sure, go ahead. Go crazy. Knock yourself out. Now, they got to, what I tell you, they're going to find another starter by week 3 or week 4. Tyler Buckner, his tryout, not good enough. They already wrote, it's so funny, they already wrote Jalen Milroe off so bad. They got him, at the fourth quarterback on the depth chart? They done dropped beyond a backup. He's like he back on the receiver depth chart. They done took him so far down off the quarterback depth
And
chart.
heck, he was out of all of them, he's probably had the best look.
Out of all of them, he definitely has had the best look.
Lucky Lefty podcast. Let's go over to the defensive side of the ball. Defensive line.
Couple silly penalties.
Yeah.
It's just you know, we can't have that. But we only gave up 3 points in the second half. So you gotta have a B.
They only gave up how many points in the second half?
3 points
Okay.
against a
Okay.
college football Division I program that
Okay.
practices every day, that takes the same amount of time prepping as we do. They got talented guys too. And we, with all that, they scored 3 points. And that's hard to do.
3 points in the second half, that's pretty good. Remind me again, was JD Te'o on the field in the second half?
JD Te'o did not make the
Oh, oh, oh,
and Central
oh,
Michigan didn't throw it to the flat second half
oh,
like that.
oh. Lucky Lefty podcast. Okay.
The
All
flats
right.
weren't abused when JD wasn't in there.
Okay. Lucky Lefty podcast. I thought Jason Anye flashed yesterday. Riley Mills. Javante did some things.
You know what's interesting about Riley Mills? He reminds me so much from an impact standpoint, like our guy Kurt Heinisch. And it's crazy because Kurt Heinisch is starting for the Texans.
Hmm.
But where was that starting potential production at Notre Dame?
No, Kurt Heinrich was solid.
Riley
Not
Mills is
spectacular.
solid. Yes,
He's
Riley
solid.
Mills is
Yeah.
solid
But Riley Mills would probably go to the NFL.
and go crazy. And that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. They like him
Yeah.
and Kurt Heinisch are the same thing to me. What are we missing from that impact of when you go to the league and now you're next level?
It might be strictly coaching.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? Good coaching. NFL teams love well-coached players,
Yes.
especially ones that they can get in free agency, don't have to draft. And, Heinrich, he come to Notre Dame, 99% of the time, you're going to be very well coached when you leave.
Well, defensive
And
line.
that's why Notre Dame players stick around in the NFL so much, man. It just
The D line though is interesting because is it a development thing or is it some of it raw talent? Because I remember the last like Isaiah Fauski, for instance. Is that a development or is he just a talent that was in a good position to do what he already could do? I think if anything, a good signifier of development would be a Tyson Ford, who has a lot of talent but doesn't know quite the position as the inside as the outside. And then once you get that, then it's okay, how do we turn you up and be the impact that you look like? I mean, he looked like he getting 12 sacks a year. But he's not playing like it yet. Jordan Botello, hell, when he first got here, he was gone for like 2 months or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then just pops back up. So the development in Al Washington, I want to see how that steadily grows and increases as the year goes on, because this is one of the few years where we don't have a star player in that room. So we have to make one. and that's Al Washington's job. We know he's not going to recruit one. So can you make one? The easier part of the job is just recruit one, and we know that's tough for you. Now, can you make one in that D-line room, which is great because it's set up for it. You got a bunch of but untapped potential from a production standpoint you don't really know yet. You know you don't got no Isaiah Fauski. So
You're a wild boy.
it's true.
This
I'm pissed
Malik
about the
right
Justin
here
Scott
is
thing.
off the chain, man. You are a
Uh,
wild boy, bro.
Are you not pissed about the Justin Scott situation? It should be. It should. That should have never happened. That should have never happened. And for the D line coach not to be involved like he should in that situation, it's just unacceptable. You had Notre Dame. You ain't at Iowa or no. Iowa get defensive lineman. Never mind. You ain't at no JUCO. Notre Dame. We supposed to grab these dudes. So, okay, boom. Recruiting maybe not your strength. Just like it's not Al Golden's strength. But if Al Golden can put together a second half where they only scoring 3, okay, we can take that. But Al Washington, you got to give us a 10 sack leader out of there. Give us
Yeah.
10. Give us one guy to give us 10. And I can be like, okay, we're developing. We're developing some guys. But if we in there not making plays like we should, it's like, where are we doing? Where are we going? Marcus
Yeah, it's
Freeman already
funny
had to tell you to stop.
because, like you said, you can have stars, and then you can have, like, I watched that Florida Tennessee game, and Florida and that defensive line just literally no stars, no stars.
Wait, on what team?
Florida,
Oh, yeah, no stars.
no
No.
stars, nobody with like ridiculous speed coming off the edge or anything like that. Just relentless.
They got crazy dudes though.
Just physical,
Yeah,
relentless
yeah.
pressure, making the pocket just shrink,
And they'll
and
fight you.
and aggression, and
And
they're
they'll try to
big,
fight you at the end of
and
the
they're
game.
big. I don't know what I don't know what's trying to be done on the defensive line in Notre Dame.
Because
I don't know.
it's a contradiction. Because in order to have a good D line, everybody knows you got to have some nasty, not nice people.
Yeah,
It's not a gentleman's game in the trenches on D line. Unfortunately, you got to recruit gentlemen to come to Notre Dame.
yeah.
So the mental stability is too strong. We got too many mentally stable guys at D line. We don't got enough guys that's like, man, I don't know about him.
You know what I like about? Well, let's get through the grades before I get to the coordinators. Secondary, DJ Brown was out. He is a communicator in the back end of that secondary. Um, but nobody, DJ Brown didn't play yesterday.
Right.
Not DJ Hamilton. DJ
Yeah.
Brown did not
Yeah.
play yesterday. Nobody was on Twitter like, oh my God, DJ Hamilton didn't
No.
play.
He wasn't DJ Hamilton when he was there.
You know what I'm saying? But there was some missed assignments, in the first half, gave up some passes.
Yep.
Yo,
I give
safeties
him a
have
B
to be
minus.
better.
I give him a B minus because they're still a part of this defense that gave up 3 at half. And at that point, they were in passing situations and we were able to still not allow a touchdown. So I
Yeah.
gotta give them, they gotta stay in the B range. But however, the missed assignments early, some missed tackles, you know, some communication things that they had to work through because DJ wasn't in there. I think that it doesn't give you a B, but a B minus fits.
It's
Damn, I forgot about Keon Keeley. He missed on that one too.
you know.
Man, the class would have been crazy. We got all these dudes.
It's funny. People say some of the craziest things, right? What is natural class, bro?
What is
What
that?
is natural class? I'm just looking at some people talking about Dion and Marcus Freeman. Like, what is natural class? Please explain to me what natural class is.
And then he said Dion has to teach kids only, not men mentally. What does that mean?
What does that mean, man? What? Hey, dude, sometimes, hey, man, it's cool.
What does
Not,
that mean?
it's cool. Hey, man, look, this whole Deion Sanders thing is people's
He's
horns.
exposing a lot.
It exposes the people's horns in their lives, bro. People need to relax because you're trying to explain something that you feel or you think, and it's not coming across well. It's just
Yeah,
not.
the way you're framing it, it
It's
comes across real
it's
crazy.
not
Because
coming
I
across
think I
well,
know
bro.
what you mean, but the way
Yeah,
you
but
keep saying is like, nah, bro, you saying something else. Like
it's
I
not
know
coming
what you
across well.
I know what you may not intend for it, but like you said, I see what you're saying. I know what you're trying to. One, we know that you don't like the way he's doing it. Not that the way he's doing it doesn't work. You don't like the way he's doing it. And that's because your perspective of what you want people to do is reflective of how you would do it. And when it's opposite of that and it still works, you have a natural combativeness against it. And it come across real funny.
It's like,
I don't know about you, man.
like the way you put that, you might want to think about kind of rephrasing that. Like, what? Once again, what is natural class?
Because we understand playing a role. Marcus Freeman, for instance, he understands where he's at.
Well, first of all, let's see that. See, fans, they don't want to hear that. See, Notre Dame fans, y'all don't want to hear that Marcus Freeman is playing a role
Yeah.
for y'all to fit
Yeah.
y'all. If he was the head coach at Ohio State,
He would
he
not be
would
doing a
not
lot of
be
this.
acting the
No.
same way. He would
Especially in
not
the,
have.
especially in the media interviews.
He wouldn't have
Especially
changed the Catholicism
he wouldn't. Oh,
at
you
Ohio
wouldn't.
State.
Yeah, you wouldn't even have known what his religion was. Hell,
No.
what is Ryan Day's religion? Protestant? I don't know.
So that's unnatural. That's not. Marcus Freeman is doing things to make sure he
He's
kind of
checking the
fits.
boxes.
He's
So
checking
you
the
can't.
boxes
So you
to
can't
make
sit
sure
there
he
and try
fits.
to calling Dion, basically.
Absolutely. I guarantee you, if you catch Marcus Freeman with his boys in a room sipping on some Onora,
You might hear some colorful language, some things you don't see on a day to day.
and all of that natural class thought might go out the window. Like,
Wouldn't call it natural class. He probably more like Dion
dude,
off the camera. Marcus Freeman played at Ohio State. What you mean? We ain't saying that he's crazy or something outside the coaching perspective, but come on, man. He knows what he has to do to succeed at a high level.
like, bro, if you just don't like somebody, just be upfront and say, yo, I don't like them. You gain more respect that way. At least from us. At least from me. Oh, I just don't like them. There is no explanation needed. I just don't like them. But to say stuff like natural class and what was the comment? Dion does not teach what?
Like Dion couldn't go in there and be like, I'm sorry, Marcus Freeman couldn't roll in the press conference and be like, do you believe? Do you believe now, Pete Sampson? Do you believe now, Tom Lemming? Do you believe? Marcus Freeman couldn't go in there and do that because y'all would crucify him. Oh, he's challenging guys that are just asking questions. you know how they do.
Man, bro. It's that comment stopped me in my tracks, bro. And we allow everyone to speak their piece. But man, woo!
Marcus Freeman knows where he's at. I just think that's the main point.
And last but not least, let's grade the JD Tayal less linebackers, bro.
I like the way Maris is playing, man. I do. I talked about it a little earlier. I do like the way he's playing. I think teams see our linebacker unit is still as potential suspect, and so they're going to get challenged. But I don't think we have the same linebacker unit as last year. So I think they are better than last year, and
Yeah.
and so far they've been fitting well in understanding the next level that I'll go and try to take the defense. So because of that, I got to give them a B. Hopefully, our guy JD Tayal is okay. You don't want to see nobody hurt. But it was good enough to get film on what we need to be good for next week. So let's not get exposed by the same stuff that they did to us this week, right? But I am proud of the fact that the things we were blatantly upset with last year with the linebacking group, it's not a blatant problem now. It's more of a maybe we need to get a different guy in there. But overall, we do that, we'll be all right. So I got to give him a B.
Oh man. Lucky Lefty podcast, team grades. Jared Parker. You know what impresses me about Jared Parker to this point?
What is that?
Jared Parker stays in the pocket, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He stays super consistent.
He stays in the pocket. I don't North Carolina, he got cute in a couple of spots. Every every coordinator gets cute at spots.
Yeah, he'll throw a wrinkle in
You
there,
know.
just something he been really wanting to get off
Yeah,
because he's,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But generally, he's
yeah,
on brand. He's like, we're going to do this. We're going to hit him with this way. This is our style. And I trust my guys in spots.
yeah.
And I'm not getting out of that process. And I think that's because he's learned a lot from last year being at the place. And I think it just it's a lot of the credit happens because he was there on the outside looking in a sense.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't the guy calling the shots, but he was the guy off to the side watching the guy call the shots and probably had a whole litany of things he would do different. I don't think the success he would have of 40 something a game because of what he's calling at somewhere else. I think he was in a unique position to be around a team he's not coaching on that level
Mm-hmm.
and have a more comfortable inside knowledge of how this team can be better than a guy coming in from off the street who has so much more to learn about these players. You got to think he's been around these guys for what, 2 years? In the rooms, in the meeting rooms, seeing the development, seeing where they can be, see how they can do it, see what went wrong. Talk to the guy that was making the calls before and what was probably wrong with that communication. Saw how last year turned out and was there on all the game plans, all the meetings, and knew what we were missing. So when he got his chance, right, it actualized when he got a trigger man.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like watching grandma's recipe. He didn't cook grandma's recipe. He been watching for years, growing up, cooking with her and everything. And then when grandma done moved on, he's like, oh, I remember it because I've been there before. I'm not just making it from scratch and having no knowledge of it. I don't have to go on YouTube. I don't have to get a cookbook. So my mac and cheese, it's a little different. I can't tell you the measurements. I can eye it. That's how Jared Parker has done our offense.
Mm-hmm.
He's eyeing it. He may not have the technical breakdown of what needs to be done specifically. He's eyeing it because he's been around it for so long. So it just tastes better. It got probably this, you could probably look up the ingredients and all that, but the way he does it, it just tastes better. It just looks better. He's probably is still running a good amount of what Tommy did, but it just looks better, it feels better, it tastes better, because he eyeing it. He ain't getting no measuring cups out. It's a feel. It's more of a feel that I feel like I'm watching. He's got a real good grasp of who he has on the team. Grandma stopped using the cookbook before she came grandma, because she had a really good grasp of how to make some mac and cheese. She not reading the back of the box. What grandma doing? Hey, baby, just hand me that. Watch me make magic. Same thing as Jared Parker. Oh, we got Sam Hartman. Okay, add this, add that, add this. Look what we got. It just tastes better. Same team, different quarterback, same team, same offense of guys. The only person we missing is the tight end, Michael Mayer. Other than that, Jared Parker just has a better feel for calling the offense this year than it is him being a super talented offensive coordinator. And then you dress that up with the best ingredients in the country, aka some of the better players athletically and all of that in the country, you're going to have some good results. 47 average on a game. That's what happens. So it's the perfect storm of, yeah, Marcus Freeman may have done a lot to try to get to what he wants, but he fell on something that he ended up really needing, and he didn't even know.
Lucky Lefty podcast. Al Golden does way too much for me, bro. And I said that against North Carolina State, and it stands today. And he's going to mess around and do it against Ohio State because he did it against Ohio State last year. He does way too much. Way too much. The position group he's responsible for, still problems. Still problems.
Yeah.
To the point that we created J.D. Te'o and create a player yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah.
He does way too much. All first half, all I'm watching is Central Michigan, bro. Central Michigan. Central Michigan. And if you are out without your top two communicators on defense, most people would simplify things. Your communicator on the back end, your communicator for the defense. They're both out. And what do? You do what Al Golden does. Way too much. It's Central Michigan. Line up and beat them.
Yeah, just line up and beat them.
Just line up and beat them. And they're without their starting quarterback, Bert Emanuel Jr. Just line up and beat them.
Yeah.
I had to watch first quarter, second quarter
of you figuring it out.
Central Michigan be able to run the ball because they're pulling the backside guard. And you know what we're doing? We're running game stunts with the defensive tackles. So the defensive tackle is literally leaving the hole, running out the way as the pulling guard is coming into the hole.
Clearing everything.
What are we doing? It's Central Michigan.
Base defense, run our day one install, and we get out of here. You getting cute against a team that doesn't deserve the cuteness.
They don't deserve the cuteness, man.
Deserve the cuteness. Why you going all in? They don't deserve you to do the stunts and the schemes, and because we can beat them being straight up.
And you could tell McElwain and Charlie Fry watched it and saw it like, These dudes, they stunt.
They overthinking it.
They
Let's just
run DT stunts 70% of the time. We'll just go ahead, pull our guard.
until if they don't change it, we just gonna eat all day.
Bro,
Hey,
it,
here, stop.
I want this.
You want here?
I want this.
Central Michigan rushed for
Wanna hold-
131 yards yesterday, bro. And I don't even blame the players.
No, because they was
Central
in bad
Michigan
position.
rushed for 131 yards because Al Golden does way too much. They just does too much. Will that miss tackles? Yeah. Dude does way too much. He just does too much, man, as a coordinator. And we just sat here and talked about Jared Parker and how he stays in the pocket.
Yeah. But that's but that's how some guys are, man. I think Jared Parker is like I said, he just got a really good feel for who he has. So it makes play calling a lot easier because you realize that the strengths and weaknesses you can speak to and stay within that lane. I don't believe that Al Golden knows all the strengths and weaknesses of his players like Jared Parker does. So because he still is trying to get more out of guys defensively, I don't think Jared Parker is trying to extend the potential of some of these guys. I just think he's like, okay, it is what it is. Tobias does this, we're gonna do that. Sam likes this, we're gonna do that, and we're gonna run that ball left and right. Why be cute? Al Golden's like, well, we may be undersized or we, trying to do something. Let's move and stunt the front because that's our identity or whatever. That's what I would like to do. So it's a little bit of it's off, coach to what you got, not to what you like. That's the number one offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator.
He definitely coaches for everybody to fit his system.
Yeah, and that's for instance, every offensive system should be quarterback friendly because you should be catered around what your quarterback does well.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not, aka Tommy Reese, it don't matter how smart you think you are. It don't even matter how talented you got guys on the roster. If your trigger man isn't up to speed on the way you want to run it, it'll never work. I was saying for Tommy in Alabama with Milrose, he should study all of Gus Malzahn in Auburn with Nick Marshall and literally run everything that they did because that's the strength of Jalen Milroe. You going in there trying to tell Jalen Milroe to run a Drew Pine offense? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Where is the success? Ain't no success you gonna have in that. And then that's when you gonna get frustrated and then start calling super basic, obvious stuff. And then you got yourself a situation. Jared Parker, you never feel like you're in a position that when all else fails, we'll go back to the basics. We'll go back to what we're good at. Now, granted, we got some pretty dang good football players. Audric is pretty dang good. Sam is pretty dang good. The offensive line is pretty dang good. So you have a place to start. So there is a difference between both coordinators. However, one does too much and one does just enough. But that just enough is what the team needs to do well.
It was just, man, look, it was frustrating. Like I said, the first half was frustrating. And I'm sitting here like, man, why are we doing all of this? Like, for what? Howard Cross can penetrate. Just let him go two ways
Yeah.
and raise havoc and do his thing. He's one of the best players on defense all year. Just let him do his thing. Like, what are we doing? Let the other guys rush the passer, man. Like, what are we doing?
Like, what are we
It's
doing?
so frustrating, man. It's almost like he ignores what I said. Both of your communicators are out. You trying to do the same thing y'all always do, right?
Can't do that.
Remember Drew Tranquil was hurt against Navy years ago?
Oh, when he celebrated on the touchdown?
What did Clark Lee do? What did
Hey,
Clark Lee do? Because Drew
went in his
White,
back.
Drew
He had
White,
Drew White
a
good
red shirt freshman, was the backup.
and had him
That's
playing
what
good.
he did.
Yeah.
He simplified things. And Drew White ended up having like 10 tackles.
Yeah. Crazy.
That's coaching. Hey, you know what? It's Central Miss. We're gonna simplify things this week.
Because we can. Shit.
Because we can. We're gonna simplify things, get after them. Occasionally we'll blitz. Stop blitzing your linebackers into like 300-pound centers, by the way. They're not good at it.
They're not.
No. Finally, we saw a safety or corner blitz off the edge yesterday with Thomas Harper successfully. Notre Dame can't recover fumbles for some reason. They lead the nation in forced fumbles and can't recover any of them. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
That's like a Liberty team that they have the most turnovers and they can't. It's like the ball just finds them. Usually defense
Man,
can't. The ball is just landing gracefully in their hands, and they got 9 picks on the season already. Like sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. We punch the ball out and it just roll out of bounds or just rolls right to the other. It's like, hey,
bruh.
but also that's going to have an impact down the line where we're trying to get Caleb off the field. We end up getting to him, strip sack, but don't recover it, and then they go down and score. Like that whole thing. So those moments we have to really, really be aware of that finish the play. You see it all the time in football. Team goes down, quarterback throws it right to a dude, and he drops it. Everybody's like, "Oh, that was it right there." And then what? 2 or 3 plays later, quarterback come back down, throw a touchdown, and
Man.
you're like, "Man, if we just would have caught that pick." So you got to be aware that happens in football all the time. Can't let the one thing where yeah, it's a good play, but you got to finish it though. You got to finish it.
Lucky Lefty Podcast. Apple Podcast, Spotify, those are the team grades, the review of Malik's 3 keys to a dub, and the grades for the coordinators right here on the Lucky Lefty Podcast. CFE Nation, presented by Twisted Tea, Apple Podcast, Spotify, audio edibles every day. We spin it different. Next up, I got something to say. Lucky Lefty Podcast.
That's right.
Left, the bow tie was
Oh, you like I
wonderful.
rocked it.
The Buffalo bow tie, bro. Hey, the Buffalo bow tie was impeccable.
Okay, I
It was
appreciate that,
it
man.
was
I had
it
to
was
fix it
it
for
was
about 30
impeccable,
minutes.
bro.
I was fighting with it. The bow ties is a little tricky.
Yeah. Just so I did watch Nebraska NIU last night.
Oh,
Seeing you have NIU next week, so I could chop it up with you.
yeah, yeah. And you got a pretty good program. They're
They
not
play
they're not
hard. They play
bad.
hard. They keep it close. Rocky Lombardi is so average at quarterback, but they play hard. They do play hard. They'll be one of the contenders in the MAC.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Because they just the team is tough. They may not be special in any spots, but they tough to beat. They like a Utah. They like just a. They gonna find a way to make
It's
it hard
crazy because you see Boston College almost beat Florida State, and NIU beat Boston College at Boston College.
at Boston College. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh, who else almost lost or started slow like that? Um,
everybody, Georgia,
yeah, Georgia. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Georgia.
Alabama. See, let me tell you something, man. And people like to. I saw somebody earlier say Georgia didn't look good. See, Georgia has this gear that no one else in the country probably has right now.
Oh yeah, they got a true turn it
Georgia
on
just,
switch.
yeah, they have a gear where they can hit it, and
Nothing. You better watch out because we going all in for sure.
in the second half they hit that gear, and it was like,
You can't stop us.
mm, nah. It was just defensively, offensively. They just lined up and said, "Okay, we're about to wear South Carolina out in these trenches, bro." And it's not, and it's absolutely nothing they could do.
Yeah, you can't avoid it. Because Spencer
They,
played all right now. Spencer played all right in the beginning.
hey, he was running for his life in the first half, bro. I mean, the second half, he was running for his life. He
Yeah.
got to the point where he was ticked off, like, "Bam, I can't even get to my second read."
No. Because Georgia is they got that juice or that sauce right now. And he probably was frustrated because he thought he had him. He thought this was a different team and that they wasn't like last year. Because last year they had him really running for his life every play. So he thought, shoot, okay, they ain't got them dudes. And then he found out they got some more dudes. they got
And so funny because I'm sitting there and literally, um, Vern Lundquist is like, "Yo," he's just naming all of these names defensively, dude. He's like, "Yeah, all of these kids started in the national championship game as freshmen." I'm shaking my head.
yeah, well, that's a hell of a head
Oh
start.
yeah, yeah. That's
It's a hell of a head start. You got young dudes that got more championship experience than in their first year, fully starting over
I'm
guys
like,
that been playing for 3, 4 years. You know, it's
yeah,
just like
yeah. That's how you
it's how you do it.
if you want to be elite, that's how you do it. I mean, hey,
They got kids that are freshmen. They're like, yeah, I played the championship game. Yeah, I got like a couple
yeah,
tackles, and I know what it
yeah,
feels like, looks like. You know, we scored 63, so everybody got in on that one. You know,
yeah,
so it's South Carolina tough. Psh, we played the
man.
championship. What you mean? Not missing a.
Wyoming, Wyoming had it close against Texas.
Yep.
That Alabama USF game, which,
Oh,
by the
slide.
way, I would like to say somebody on this podcast said USF was going to give Alabama a little bit more than people thought, and it was
I,
this guy who covered USF week one.
I, I told you, just like I told you about Central Michigan.
Hey,
They
boy, they,
these
they got some cats that can brush the pass off the edge. That
they got it's like when you got good coaching, you'd be surprised how really even skill wise a lot of these teams are. USF, 90% of them are from South Florida. That's a boatload of talent down there. So with the right coaches, they gonna give anybody problems. It's just they may not be the best all around, but when you include factors of we overlooking y'all, uh, y'all coming to our place,
yeah,
your guard is down. But hell, when you got good coaches, you're gonna give a team that's gonna believe in themselves. Cause they're like, oh shit, we just gotta do what you say, and
right.
we'll fall into some good results. See, that's what happens. So a good coaching staff will always bring out the talent of a team, even when you least expect it. And that's exactly what USF does. I mean, they just almost beat Alabama with the same coaches that they had at Tennessee.
Yeah.
They just was Tennessee with lesser talent. I mean, well, a program in rebuild mode. Still no excuse for Alabama team that looked like Notre Dame the past 10 years, where they should have beat them 50-0, but made it close the whole way through. So we starting to see where our problems lie. Because we just transferred the problems from us to you.
Yeah. 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 And last but not least, regardless of what you think about him, the Colorado game is a spectacle on a weekly basis, bro.
Yep.
It just is.
It's just the news that
It
it's
it
like
it,
Lakers. You just gotta
it
watch them.
you gotta watch. It just is. Let me tell you something, man. That whole Jay Norvell thing, whatever, man.
Is that the head coach of Colorado State?
Yeah,
He
but
reminds me of the coach from the HBCU that had a problem with Dion.
yeah,
He
yeah,
reminds me of him.
yeah. But that clown safety from Colorado State
That hurt
that,
Travis Hunter.
that hurt Travis Hunter, man, suspend that dude for a game.
Yeah, yeah. Because
Dude's
you
a
hurt
clown.
college football.
He's a clown, man.
You hurt in
Yeah,
college football.
so now I don't get to watch Trav for 2 weeks because of you.
Yeah.
That clown out of here, man.
Because ain't nobody watching those CSU games for the rest of the year.
Rest of the year.
Like, you are a relevant team after that. Y'all had y'all
That's
chance.
that's
and
why
y'all
it confused me when Jay Norvell was like, "Yeah, we tired of this ESPN stuff." I'm like, dude, this is your only exposure all year.
all year. You go back to local television on Channel 5 or something like
Man,
the
TJ
local
Fallon,
TV
that's the
station.
dumbest thing I've ever heard because if it happened to a Notre Dame receiver, you wouldn't feel the same way.
What do you
No
say?
defensive receiver gets hit after the ball has hit the ground. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I mean, everybody that was there when the play happened knew he
The
was wrong.
whole world
The
said it
whole
was a
world knew
dirty
he was
play.
wrong.
So what
The
are we
refs threw
talking
the
about?
flags. The players said something. They were all pointing at the dude like, "I'm gonna get you back." Like, it was an obvious dirty call. It was so dirty that when he did it, he ran immediately over to the other side. He knew what he did.
He ran like a
He
coward.
ran away. Yeah, he ran away. He knew he messed up. Like, it's just clown
Play
behavior.
is over. Play is over.
And you running full speed still. Why?
And this fam, right.
You running full speed. The ball is clearly uncatchable. Your man is lockstep with Trav Hunter, so it's not like you had to try to rally to make a play. It was not a play at all.
Let that have been Rico Flores or Jaden Greathouse.
You
Dudes
would have
would have
been
been
you would have
going,
been calling up the NCAA to cancel me, try to
man,
press charges on him or something. Crazy shit.
they're going crazy. Oh my God. Oh my God. See, college football hates Notre Dame. That would have been the roof. Man, the heck out of here. That ain't football. I'm sorry. That ain't football. Notre Dame fans yesterday were trying to say the play that Sam Hartman got hurt on was dirty. Like they were literally trying to go there, like hard. Like, oh my God, that's a dirty play by the Central Michigan player. He's dirty. I'm like, fam, Rocco Spindler just
Got destroyed.
got destroyed. He got destroyed. That's what happened. Don't be mad at the
Don't be
CMU
mad
player.
about it. Yeah. He got beat. And as a result of getting beat like that, like a drum, Sam suffered because of it. But that's a clean football plays.
Clean football play.
It's a clear
But
distinction between the two was also.
dude, he just, man, Notre Dame fans, I'm talking about they were going hard about that being a dirty play. I'm like, yo, fam. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. That's the perfect thing for I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what to tell you, man. That looks pretty. Looks like a darn good play, but in my opinion.
Yeah, like it's something he's gonna play on his highlight tape for the league,
Oh, heck yeah.
Because heck, you go to the NFL right now and you just see plays like that all the time. D lineman just like Quentin Williams just destroys the dude in front of him like it's nothing and pushes him all the way back into the court. That's a great play. It's just a great play.
Mm-mm-mm. Let me catch my breath for a second, bro.
So yeah, it's definitely one of those things where college football, I think in general, is overlooking the matchups because a lot of big weeks, I mean, a lot of big games are this week. A lot. A lot of big time games this week.
Yeah.
So I do think that it's good that the teams that we're really high on didn't lose because it makes the games this week more special, more worth wanting to watch. And that's why I hope Colorado goes all the way undefeated until they play USC. And you got Shador versus Caleb in the biggest matchup since Deshaun and Lamar. And that was 7 years ago. Hell,
Yeah.
this might even be bigger than that. This
It's
might
pretty
have more
big.
weight than that.
It's pretty big.
I'm from a QB matchup. It's probably the biggest in the last 20 years. Because I don't remember. I mean, Caleb, who he is, Heisman, all of that. But Shador's attention is just an anomaly. You flashing the roller. You got your own move now where you put the ice in the man face, and
You got
you got
other college football players doing it.
yeah, you got Rick Ross talking about we gonna call it the Shador
This
Sanders,
Shadur.
the Shador. And
That's
I
funny.
mean, the fact that he got all these rappers and entertainers at the game, like it's the club or something, is in Colorado at that. It's not like he had Miami or Florida State. It ain't like he had USC or these top Texas programs or nothing like that. This man is in Boulder, Colorado. It's like,
By the way, if you have not watched the 30 for 30 on the 90s Colorado football team and Dan McCartney, go listen to the black players talk about what Boulder, Colorado was to them.
oh, straight up. It probably was like, yeah, they told all the stories.
And
So
like Left just said, he's doing this in Boulder, Colorado.
I mean, has you would have thought it was an HBCU all over again. The fans were out. They said they made $18 million in one weekend.
Bruh.
I mean, just to generate that amount of attention is why I think this is an anomaly when you got Colorado versus USC because it's never been nothing like it before. Never.
Yep. Lucky Lefty podcast. So, yesterday, Notre Dame gave up 260 yards total on defense and 17 points, three in the second half, without JD Te'o. Now, I don't know if you know this, Left,
Yeah,
but
it's crazy.
you know, anytime JD Te'o doesn't play, it's a massive loss. Massive loss. That's the exact word. A massive loss. Massive.
I don't know how massive that massive
Which
is.
is if Sam Hartman's knee has been seriously hurt, that's a massive loss. If
Yes,
Audric Estimé goes down with an injury, that's a massive loss.
massive.
If JD Te'o is being considered as a massive loss, we have big problems at Notre Dame.
Yeah, because that means we
We
don't
got
have
big problems at Notre Dame. Because the last I checked, the last 2 years, the problematic linebacking core, he was part of the problem. Now we can sit up here, we talk about he had 82 tackles, he led the team in tackles. Yesterday, in his absence, Jack Kaiser had 10 tackles, 6 solos, 1 sack. in his absence, playing his position. But I didn't know Jalen Sneed getting into the backfield, having a clean shot at a running back and get juked out of his draws. I didn't know. I didn't know that was because JD Te'o did play yesterday. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know missed tackles were because JD Te'o wasn't on the field. Because JD Te'o misses tackles in space. I don't know whether or not people know this. Even though he had 82 last year, he probably should have had 100.
Yeah.
She realized going into yesterday's game that JD Te'o had 13 tackles in 3 games. 13. He was tied with Howard Cross, the third. He was tied with a defensive tackle for tackles on the team at 13. Heck, JD Te'o might not be, no, matter of fact, he's not. You might make it to 5 players on defense that are better defensive players before you make it to JD Te'o. You might.
Yeah.
But that's all preference. Some people might agree, some people might not.
How you doing?
That's my opinion. Maris is better. Howard Cross is better. Benjamin Morrison is better. That's 3 for sure.
You're not wrong about that.
I'm just saying. But the first half and the 14 points was all because the player that gets us lined up. He's a massive loss because he gets everybody lined up. What? What good is it to get everybody lined up, but you can't tackle in space? Now, second half of last year, he played much better.
Yeah.
We commended him for that right here on this podcast.
Yes, we did.
Commended him for that. But sitting up talking about he's a massive loss, man, stop. Stop. Y'all doing way too much.
Yeah.
You're doing way too much. Notre Dame had defensive players in position to make plays all first half. They didn't make the plays. Period. Period.
Didn't make the plays, yeah.
Left, do you remember a player named Joe Schmidt?
Oh, man, do I. The guy that played against Clemson when they had Deshaun and had 0 tackles and our safety had 12, and he was in the middle of the defense. I remember that guy.
Joe Schmidt,
Had
the
0
narrative,
tackles versus
the
Clemson.
narrative was put out there by Notre Dame. Same way the narrative's been. Where'd this come from? Like this whole, oh my God, like JD Bertrand gets everybody lined up. Where'd this narrative come from? It came from Notre Dame. The same way the narrative came about Joe Schmidt. Oh, you got to have him on the field, right?
No, you
Got to
don't.
have him on the field.
Mm.
Do you remember when Joe Schmidt couldn't play and Niles Morgan had to come into that Arizona State game? You were there. You said it was quite possibly the hottest game you ever experienced, bro.
No, it was ridiculous.
You remember that? And EG brought the team back, and you guys almost won that game.
And he threw that pick at the end.
Yes.
He tried to throw the Corey
Yes.
Robinson. I remember
Yes.
that shit.
And you guys basically gave the game away.
We was getting smoked.
Yes.
We came back should have won and gave it back to him for sure.
Yes.
But the comeback was about to be crazy.
TJ, look, fans, stop! Don't insult our intelligence, and don't insult your own intelligence. It doesn't matter what sport you play. If the starters are healthy and they play, they're better than the backups. Stop with that. Let's not act like him missing doesn't matter. If a starter is missing, it's going to matter. But JD Bertrand is not a massive loss. And if he is a massive loss, there's a bigger problem at Notre Dame in that
Ben
program.
Morrison is a massive loss.
Thank you.
You know, that's a massive loss. He may not be picking the ball every week, but it's still
that's a massive loss. Yeah. It's some massive losses on that Notre Dame roster. He ain't one of them.
Yeah, it's definitely on some raw. Yeah,
because he's able to line everybody up, that's not a good enough reason.
But us being able to run the football with all the backs, missing Audric is a massive loss.
Absolutely.
And we still got good running backs, and we still can do some things, but not having him is a massive loss. It's just what it is.
That's not a massive loss. And all I saw was this creation of JD Teow by Notre Dame fans on social media yesterday.
Yeah.
First half, 14 points. Second half,
3.
Without JD Teow.
The massive loss.
Defense looked pretty good. Without JD Teow, defense gave up 267 yards. 267.
Maybe they mean from like a team morale standpoint or something.
Man, look here.
Or maybe like, on the sideline after the possession, he's like helping them talk through the plays or I don't know.
Look here, bro. I had my timeline heating up until midnight with Notre Dame fans trying to defend how great JD Teow is.
He ain't been an All-American, has he yet?
How great he is. Leadership. Right? Somebody says leadership.
They love throwing the intangibles
leadership.
Out there.
If he's such a great leader, in his 5th year, why was the coaching staff asking him this spring for more leadership? You need to see more from a 5th-year senior? Y'all can miss me with this, bro. I'm all over this.
Yeah.
Because what the narrative that they want you to believe, nah, I'm not going for it. I'm not.
Shaun don't like the glory boy stories.
And if it's the case, we got a big problem in Notre Dame. It's a huge problem in Notre Dame. Huge problem.
But it's not a problem because they always have done it. We had non-tackling Austin Collinsworth at safety when he shouldn't have been there. Had non-tackling Joe Schmidt in there that literally didn't make tackles and missed tackles. But they always hit us with these intangible things that we can't quantify. His impact in communication, like he the only one that go to practice and watch film. His leadership is unmatched.
That's the problem. If he's the only one that can correctly get Notre Dame lined up in that program, there's a coaching problem.
Yeah, no facts. That's why I say
with the guy that coaches the linebackers, that's your defensive coordinator. It's a coaching problem. If he's the only linebacker that can correctly get Notre Dame lined up, you have a coaching problem with Al Golden. That's the problem. Not in Notre Dame where all the players are so smart.
Yeah.
Isn't that what Al Golden said in his introductory press conference? Oh, these guys are so smart here. They're
only
so
one dude
smart.
Can line us up.
Only one dude in the program can line us up. But we got a team full of smart players.
Team full of eggheads.
Wait a minute. Who was just telling the media and lauding Drake Bowen as a true freshman for knowing the playbook and being able to call out things? Who was just able to do that? Al Golden. But they want us to believe as a narrative that this is the only dude. Without him, or we can't get lined up. We can't operate as a woe is us. We can't operate as a defense without JD Teow. Of course, the media comes right into Marcus Freeman's press conference. Low-hanging fruit question. Kind of struggled there in the first half on defense. How big was JD Teow's absence? Man,
Maybe it's because he's the captain. Maybe that's why. Maybe is he the captain or something? I don't know.
the reason I brought up the Arizona State game, bro. You know what happened that game? Niles Morgan started the first half. He struggled. Remember that he struggled. Niles ended up with like 11 tackles, and the defense made stops in the second half.
He gave us a chance.
Yes. Do you know what else happened? Niles played the next week, and he was even better at calling the checks the next week. And he put out better production than Joe Smith. Guess what happened the next week after that? He was even
production.
better.
That's what people was mad about. Niles was producing more when he was in there. That's what people were mad about. And that the fact that he was producing over a guy that you're saying you can't line up without. It was always something that you couldn't see that made Joe better than Niles. It was some leadership or some intangible thing or some mentally tough, like stuff that you couldn't be like, look at the stat sheet. Niles had 11, Joe had 2. You're like, why are we not playing Niles? Oh, you gotta have Joe in there because he's got the heart of a lion.
Yes. 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 My point is, someone in the chat said we're 4-0. That's my point. We're 4-0. Notre Dame gave up 260 yards, 17 points. And Notre Dame fans are going crazy because we massively missed JD Teow. Stop it.
Because if that was the case, we should have lost that game because of not having him in there.
Stop it.
That would make it a massive loss.
If you put Drake Bowen in JD Teow's spot, he's going to get better each week and making the calls and making the checks. Will he make mistakes early? Yes. Just like JD Teow made mistakes early 2 years ago. But he was allowed to move. You know how many mistakes he's made that we had to sit back as Notre Dame fans and just say, he can get everybody lined up, but he can't tackle word for darn. Not in space.
He getting guys motioning running backs out wide, 1-on-1.
Wait a minute. You remember the Fiesta Bowl? You remember that second half?
Shit, I was thinking of who was the team that did that with the running back?
You remember?
Toledo.
Hold on,
Toledo
bro.
did that to us. Toledo, a motion running back all the way out.
Yes.
And then JD would go out with him. They'll throw a go route right on time. Right on time. So
you remember this though? Remember the Fiesta Bowl? Remember how that defense in the second half just imploded?
Oh,
remember
man.
that?
Spencer Sanders looked like Caleb Williams out there.
And who was it? Who was it at the post game? Who was it?
He prepared us really well. He had us ready for the high tempo. He had us ready. Like, it wasn't schematically. It was the little details of we missed tackles. We didn't win the 50-50 balls, those little details. And we need to make sure we do that better. And it's on us. And going into the next season, I just want to make sure I focus on the fundamentals, the little things like finishing leverage tackles, not going 1-for-1 for blocks, just every little detail, just being able to enhance it. And then just being able to take that next step in leadership and be able to help this team become the team that we want to become.
Bro, what are we talking about?
Good question.
What are we talking about, man? What are we talking about? Notre Dame Notre Dame players did not make the plays in the first half. It was not because they didn't get lined up right. Notre Dame had plenty of opportunities to get sacks, recover fumbles, make big hits, make big tackles behind the line of scrimmage, and the players just didn't make the plays. Had nothing to do with the massive missing of one linebacker because he can communicate like none other in Notre Dame's program.
Yeah.
Stop falling for that narrative stuff, man. Stop. If you put Jack Kaiser in that position and allow him to play, by the third week, he can do what JD Bertrand does. If you give him time to go out and actually do it.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. Yo, like, do we understand what a massive loss is? Go ask the 2005, 2006 Bears how much of a massive loss it was in week 13 to lose Tommy Harris to a pulled groin. Go ask that defense how their defense drastically changed going into the playoffs. Go ask Agunlier and Alex Brown how they didn't have 101s anymore. Go ask that defensive line how big of a change going from Tommy Harris to Tank Johnson. That's a drop off.
Hold on, Tate Johnson was nice though. You didn't think Tate Johnson was nice?
Tank Johnson was a dummy taking an AK into a club though.
Oh yeah, that was dumb. But I thought he was a solid little football player.
He wasn't Tommy Harris.
With him and Lance Briggs, that was
He
a good
wasn't. He wasn't Tommy Harris.
Lance Briggs was that deal. Him, Urlacher.
You want to talk about massive loss? How about playing the Detroit Lions opening week without Chris Jones and Travis Kelce? That's that's massive losses. That's two of them.
They two featured players.
That's a massive loss. Sam Hartman, if he got hurt yesterday going into Ohio State,
I wouldn't.
I forgot who it was that said in the chat. That said when he saw that play, he puckered up a little bit. I'm sure you did.
Steve Angeli versus Ohio State.
But you all need to stop. Coming into this game, nobody was sweating bullets like, oh, man. I don't know how we're going to do against Central Michigan because J.D. Teau's not playing. Man, stop. Nobody was sweating that dude being out. Nobody was sweating that. Everybody
not on the talent level.
From a prediction standpoint, we did the prediction show Friday. People still predicted that Notre Dame will hold in the 3 points, 7 points. Without him. Well, no one was sweating that dude missing a game.
No.
And now all of a sudden after the game, oh my God, he's such a massive loss. No one else in the program, if no one else in the program can get people lined up, you have a coaching problem.
And I don't think we have a coaching problem.
But 267 yards later, let me say that again. 267 yards later. Sounds like pretty good defense to me from a yardage standpoint. Their quarterback was 10 for 20. Sounds like pretty good defense. 17 points, 3 in the second half. Sounds like pretty good adjustments to me. Jack Kaiser filling in for that guy. 10 tackles, 6 solo, 1 sack. Pretty good day to me.
Especially playing half a game. Jack Kaiser earning the stripes, man.
Well, it's a massive loss, boy. Don't fall for it, man. We just gave you history. concerning Niles Morgan and how they tried to make that narrative ring out in the 2014 season. And then all of a sudden, Niles Morgan, as a true freshman, went in and played. And by the time he got to the third week, no one even thought about Joe Schmidt ever again.
And Niles still playing today. So shout out Niles Morgan,
Nope, never thought about him ever again.
And Niles is still playing, communicating. He's a heart of the defense, So I don't know, man. It's one of those things, I guess.
We don't act like he's a bum. We just don't sit up here and act like he's a great player. He's not a massive loss. He's not equal to Sam Hartman not playing. He's not equal to Audric Estimé not playing. He's not even in the top 3 players on defense. What are we talking about? That's not a massive loss. And it's an insult to yourself. No one has to tell you that if a starter is out, some things are going to change and they might not be as good. No one has to tell you that. But stop exaggerating because you don't like what you saw. Jalen Sneed constantly being in the backfield and constantly missing tackles has absolutely nothing to do with JD not playing. Zero. Dumb penalties. Roughing the passer after he's thrown the ball, Josh Burnham, has nothing to do with JD Bertrand. Nothing. And it continued a touchdown drive. What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
That's the problem.
Stop. If that's the case, we're in trouble next year. Because when he leaves, oh Lord, who's gonna make the calls next year?
Can he stay another year? Shoot.
Who's gonna make the defensive calls next year? JD Bertrand graduates. We're in trouble. Once again, you can take this. This is with his improved play last year that we commended him for at the end of the year. But once again, the man had 13 tackles and was tied with Howard Cross going into yesterday.
That's right.
Through 3 games. What are we talking about? What are we talking about once again? What are we talking about?
That's the problem.
Yeah, we got a big problem in.
We buying into the hype. That's the problem.
Now, I will say this. To lose him and DJ, both of your communicators, in the same week, I can rock with that.
Yeah.
But once again,
because now you're missing reps and experience and all
but
of
that. I don't see anybody saying DJ was a massive loss yesterday. But I saw a bunch of blown coverages on the back end that the majority of the time we don't see when DJ plays. But I don't see anybody saying DJ Brown was a massive loss yesterday.
But you saw him.
He gets the safety line up, and he's always in the right spot. But nobody was saying DJ was a massive loss. No one. It's the same thing we talked about with that. Oh, Notre Dame. No one likes us. Everyone hates us. This network hates us. And Notre Dame is a college football gatekeeper. They are part of the decision making at the top. Like what are we talking about? We fall for these narratives, man, that are just not true. They're not true.
They not true.
And if that is indeed the case, and he's a massive loss, there's a bigger problem at Notre Dame.
Yeah, because what are we doing? Are we not developing nobody?
It is crazy within the same week to laud a true freshman for being able to know the playbook back and forth and call checks at linebacker, and then put out the narrative that, yo, it's a massive loss because he gets everybody lined up.
What a weak excuse. We gotta
Come
be
on,
better.
man.
We gotta be better.
If we were going into that Ohio State game with Steve Angeli as the quarterback,
Don't put your money
man,
down.
boy, you
Don't
can
put your money down.
talk to me. Talk to me.
Sam Hartman getting hurt is like Aaron Rodgers getting hurt for the Jets. A massive loss. Because now you got Zach Wilson in there, and now you know that's not what you plan on winning with this year.
Boy, let Joe Alt go down. Let Joe Alt go down at left tackle. Man. Woo!
Lord Jesus.
I'm praying right now, dude. I'm covering every irreplaceable player on this roster, bro. We need them protected.
It's a fact.
Let's close it out. Yeah, man. Greg, Lilo, everybody. Hey. Yeah. Yeah. That, I don't know how I would feel, boy, if we had to go into a game with Steve Angeli as a starting quarterback. I just don't know. And I'm sure
We
I
would
don't
look like
care. I know
Alabama.
my rant is gonna end up on the message board. Right? Don't care. I stand 10 toes down.
That's
I'm
right.
sure I'll get a text or a phone call from somebody. Did you really say this?
That's
You
right.
dang right I said it. And if you listen for clarity,
It ain't a massive loss.
it ain't got nothing to do with JD Bertrand.
Yeah, because if it is a massive loss, that's the bigger problem.
That's the bigger problem. If you thought that rant was about JD Bertrand, you missed the entire point of what I said.
Because that would mean that we have, if he's a fifth-year senior and he's the only one getting us lined up, then what are the other 4-year eligible guys doing? That's the crazy part.
Like, dude, anybody can do what he does if they are able to do it multiple times in a game.
Right.
They will get the hang of it. They said nobody could do it but Joe Smith, and after 2 games, now it's Morgan just took off. Well, what do you know? Well, what do you know? Lucky Lefty Podcast. Who impressed you the most this weekend, Left? You up in Buffalo.
Who impressed me the most?
Yeah.
I would say, from a team standpoint, I thought on a college football level, Georgia impressed me from what we talked about earlier in terms of turning it on. Like they got another gear. When they decide they want to play, they gonna pull something out the tank that you're gonna be like, man. You're gonna be like, man, that's too good. And I think that's a level to which we can be at. But next week is gonna be a good determining factor for that because it'll be the biggest challenge we've had since I don't know when. I don't know when. So if we can turn on versus Ohio State, I think that the other 3-4 games that we had would be what they call it, would be validated.
Mm-hmm.
It would be validated.
This is it, bro. This is it. This weekend, hey, this is it. This weekend, all those excuses. This is it. This is why Sam Hartman was brought here. This is why Marcus Freeman was made head coach. This is it.
Yeah, this is why he was made head coach right here. And that's how high the standard is at Notre Dame. You hire for 2 or 3 games of the year because all the other ones are must wins, and no question that we win at them. That's what he was hired for.
So hey, we can only. It's a big game. We'll be talking about it all weekend. This game was so big, we got our media packet from Notre Dame last night. That's how I knew it was a big game. We usually don't get the media packet until like Monday, right before the press conference. We got the media packet last night.
Yeah.
Like, yo,
We need to prepare
yes, sir.
because
Yes,
this is
sir.
one of them ones. We got
Yes, sir.
college game day coming. You know,
I'm going to withhold my love for Dante Moore until I see him against Oregon this week.
okay.
Because he basically played like a half yesterday. He lit it up and then just sat.
Right.
UCLA was up so big. I can't wait to see him against Oregon, bro.
Shoot, I can't wait to see a lot of the top matchups.
He was committed to Oregon. Dillingham left. He left. Man. Florida was impressive this week. Your boy Joe Milton, I told you.
They're not gonna replace him though.
That cat Nico in the second half came out. They called a timeout. That cat Nico had his helmet on. I was like, he close. That cat Nico is close, boy. You know the backup. They call a timeout. Backup doesn't have his helmet on. He's standing there with the headphones on. Talking, listening. No, that cat Nico was standing right next to him with his helmet on, strapped up. Like, what's up?
All the hype they done get that man Joe Milton.
Oh yeah, not Oregon. Utah plays UCLA. I knew it was somebody. Either way, I'm holding off until I see him play against this good team. Like, I already know he's a dude, but
How high of a dude can he be?
man, woo,
Man,
quarterback play in the Pac-12, boy.
Baker Mayfield beating y'all boys like that, man.
No,
And y'all brought out orange jerseys.
Well, I don't care nothing about the Bears, dog. I'm doing a post game show in the middle of the game. What do you think? Do you think I care about the Bears?
And they flash across the screen. The jerseys look good. The jerseys look good, man. But you're right, man. I think we haven't suffered a massive loss. Let's put it like that.
SB native. Um, what are you talking
What's
about
the
specifically? Yeah, what was the narrative?
Is Brian Driscoll on TV on Irish Breakdown every day?
Yeah, so I don't like what narrative did he put out? Oh, you just talking about in general? Man, I don't get that vibe when we talk. Like me and B Drisk had plenty of conversations on the phone where we disagree and go back and forth. And I don't get that. I speak.
Yeah, Beatrice, man. I mean,
And as far as BBG should be coached, your opinion is your opinion, but I will counter that with saying, mm, you're wrong. He's knowledgeable. Maybe you're speaking about him as a person, which I don't know if you really know him that well. But as far as his knowledge of Notre Dame, the program, and football, far from that, in my opinion. Now, I know people get upset about him blocking people, and
Hey, you can
uh,
talk all you want. I don't have to
I,
listen.
I'll have anything to say. I don't have anything to say to that. He is welcome to run his message board and his show
Now you want to.
the way he wants to, and then we run our stuff the way.
We want to.
Uh,
Man, y'all take it easy on us journalists, man. We just trying to put out the best info for you guys and try to keep it real, man. I think that's just the biggest thing. Because the overhypeness is what kills it,
Honey, what's that thing?
oh, somebody said the DJ at the game was lit. Who was the DJ?
Go.
Because that's definitely an upgrade that's needed.
Oh, we got a fan side DJ. Where is he placed at? Because
They said he was lit at the game.
Please.
that's a change.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jay Frost. I don't know what you're talking about, man. We still haven't gotten to the loose balls first.
Oh, he's talking
As
about
far as the fumbles,
fumbles, yeah.
hey, that I don't know what's up with that.
We're gonna have to get him this week, though. I know that.
Man, hopefully.
We definitely gonna have to get him this week.
Shoot, man. Oh, Norm Kelly, look, man, that's life. Like I said, I already know. What I said.
You clipped
Well,
up. Clipped up on the
it's gonna
message
be
board.
on the message board. It is what it is, man. And like I said, if you think the rant was about a player, you missed the whole point.
Is Justin Scott gonna be at the game?
Daddy. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be there watching his boys.
What side? What I'm about to say? What side he gonna be on? Because if I'm Notre Dame, I ain't giving you a ticket.
What I heard, his comment was, I'm coming to watch my guys. I don't know who his guys
Yeah,
are.
who you guys? You got, because I know you know both teams. You know both staffs. We'll do a little poaching.
I know he's a little upset because they've been getting smacked around this year.
I'm with that.
They've been getting smacked around this year. But I wouldn't put 100%. I wouldn't put 100% into him being there. I wouldn't.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't. I mean, Notre Dame's still recruiting him, but
Because we're gonna put the pressure on him if he comes.
no. If Notre Dame wins,
It should change a lot. Shoot.
if Notre Dame wins Saturday, it goes a long way to getting him to campus, in my opinion. It's almost like I need to see it.
But his reason, man, is of why he's trying to go there is one of the things why we talked about today. He want to go play with guys that's better than him, and guys that's coming in that are highly recruited just like him. We got to figure that part out. So even with us winning, I think does it answer the question?
Mm. Jay says, as we get ready to get out of here, the coordinators can't show their hand a week before the big game, so of course the players didn't play up to par with a CMU squad. But don't get it twisted. Next week, this ND squad will get prepared. Well, Jay, that's 2 consecutive weeks of them not playing up to par. So I don't know about that. And Al Golden showed darn near everything yesterday. He did too much. Yeah, it's like, what are you doing,
Yeah, the
man?
whole 30 minutes about him not playing basic against a team we
Yeah.
don't need to do too much against.
Like, shoot. They keep talking about your home studio, which people, his home studio is at the bottom of the necessities, bro. My man got 2 kids, a household, and a significant other, bro. That man ain't thinking about no home studio.
Listen, I'm gonna get it right,
And
guys.
and the show is just fine.
I
If
know
it
they be
gets
getting on
better,
about my studio, but I'm
if
gonna
it
get
gets
it right.
better, but his mic gets better, fine. You hear Malik just fine.
No, I'm gonna get it right though.
Oh, dude.
I just moved and everything, so we gonna get right.
Like he's munching, but if he was munching in a studio, the munch would be even worse.
What a baby munching.
If the
So
baby was munching, then if you had a studio, it would be worse. You would hear it even more. So I know we're good. People just like to. That's the Notre Dame way, nitpicking. Whether it's players, the offensive line, that's the Notre Dame way. Shoot. Matter of fact, that's our 3rd member. We might have to start cutting him a check.
put him in the production credits or something.
Man,
Give him a production credit.
that's our dude. Do you guys have any more questions, man? Because we're about to let you guys go. Man, say a prayer for Cal. What's his name tonight? Cal, is it Cal Wilson? Is that his
Oh,
name?
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson. I'm sorry.
They
Say a
playing right
prayer.
now. We're playing right now.
Yeah, say a prayer for him. Cowboys.
That defense
Yeah,
gonna eat him up.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Bad
And
too.
last but not least, um, I know a lot of y'all midway through the fourth quarter of that game last night had your tweets ready,
You know they did. They put him in the drafts though.
but Shador Sanders is that dude.
Hi, Dad.
He's just a dude that lets you know that he's a dude.
He's a dude. He's a dude. 2 yard line. All right. That dude said it was time to go to Brady mode. And then got a retweet from Tom Brady.
From Tom Brady. There you
I said,
go.
oh, I said, it's a wrap, y'all. I said, I'm done. I'm done. You know what was the funniest thing in the world? That I probably would have done the same thing, man. That cat Shador does not play when it comes to his pops, bro.
Oh no, he love his dad for sure.
That
Sure.
Mark ran to the center of the field to make sure he was
Just to
there
make
when Jay
sure Jay
Norvell
Norvell didn't say nothing crazy.
hey, he was waiting for Jay Norvell to say something crazy. It was about to be on. He was about
He
to
was
let
standing
that
right
dude
there,
know.
like, say something. I dare you. I dare you.
Man, like I dare you to say something.
And then he walked away kind of like what Dion say to him? Because he kind of walked away like, yeah, all right, I one of them. So you know how that goes.
Yes.
Colorado State has some pretty decent receivers, though.
Oh yeah, it's they just I think with a team like Colorado State, they don't have that. They don't have what Colorado has on that belief factor. Week in and week out, that energy of we are the team that is coming in and taking over.
Yeah.
But they got talent,
Heck yeah.
but they don't have that why
The
little
Horton
Wayne
is,
showing up.
Horton is the best. And then number 4, Wilson. I don't know why they stopped going to him because he got loose for the first 3 quarters. Hoiker is a man. He's a pretty good tight end. They got some pretty good talent, man. The young quarterback is decent.
Yeah, the quarterback wasn't bad.
Yeah. Obviously, the head coach is awful because they're an undisciplined team.
Right.
16 penalties. He's clapping after personal foul penalties. Like it's all good. Like
That's not good.
Man.
No.
And then on the Kamara on the defensive side, he was a beast all night.
Oh yeah, he was nice.
That Colorado left tackle was
In trouble.
man. He had him in the mixer, like, oh boy.
And I forgot Shador poked the dude in the eye. Remember that?
I didn't see it. I saw it on my.
And that man poked him
I
right
had
in his
to, I had to check it out.
eye. Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
that.
Shador would have poked me in my eye. It would have been some slow singing and flower bringing. Like, bro, you got a problem coming for you now.
He already held. I mean, he already held the watching the one dude face, stuck
Yeah.
on him with the attack. That's how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah. That's a problem. The first problem I see is that inside the 5, they can't run the ball in. That's the problem. That's gonna come back. That's going to come back to bite them real soon. Colorado, because you can't depend on like Shador making plays inside the 5 and
You don't want to lean on that.
no. No. Your Bengals 0-2 left? Bruh.
Listen,
Hey, bruh.
Joe Burrow will be fine. They played a great team in Baltimore because nobody ever wants to give Baltimore credit when they win 10 games every year since they got
Bruh.
Lamar.
I think the entire NFC North lost this week. Everybody.
NFC North. Who's NFC North?
The Vikings lost.
Oh, yeah, the Bears lost. The Lions
The,
lost.
the Packers lost to the Falcons. The Bears lost to the Bucks. And the Lions lost.
That's on
Every
brand.
team in the NFC North lost.
NFC's not a strong division like the AFC, though.
First of all, I told you that division was horrible.
Yeah, the division, yeah. Yeah.
The whole division. Boy, I tell you one thing, Chris Jones made a difference, didn't he?
Oh,
You go
overnight.
from you give up 27 points to the Lions and 9 points to the Jaguars on the road. That's a massive difference.
And they got Kelsey who scored a touchdown.
Wait a minute. Did I like predict Illinois was going to the Rose Bowl or something? Like I'm confused, bro. Like people keep asking me to comment on Illinois. I picked Penn State to win the game. Like
Drew Aller. But I knew it was gonna be tough for Illinois once I found out that they got all their guys drafted. Devin Witherspoon was drafted.
oh no, my boy Johnny Newton was getting busy.
Oh yeah.
Johnny Newton was getting busy on them dudes yesterday. Oh yeah. Yeah, he was getting
Is that
busy.
number 2 for you guys? A running
That's
back?
number 4. The defensive tackle. Oh yeah, he got busy yesterday. Yeah, he got busy. They do. They don't have a quarterback. Malik Elsie, hey, my boy Malik Elsie from Chicago got his first touchdown yesterday.
Or the receiver that
Yeah.
we didn't recruit or something like that?
Yeah, we recruited, but he wasn't good enough. They liked
He's
other
not
guys.
that fast, right?
Yeah, he's not. He's a big
He's like
big.
he would have been what Tobias was, but fast, right? Or something like that.
No, he doesn't have that much speed, But he's a big physical receiver.
That's
Shout
what
out
I'm saying.
and Carnell had his first touchdown yesterday.
Yeah.
Domo Wop, they do. 2 words, Luke Altmaier. Until they saw the quarterback situation, that program is, and Barry Lunny Jr. is a terrible offensive coordinator. He's awful. He's left. He's awful. He is awful. See, what you had last year is he had a veteran quarterback that was subpar, but he had a great offensive line, a great running back, and that was pretty much it. And I mean, they were running the ball for like 160 a game. So they went play action off of that, and things happened. But this is the same Illinois offense that had a 9-6 game against Iowa last year and lost to Mississippi State in a bowl game. So
Yeah, I don't know about that.
no. Man. It is awful. People keep hitting me up about Phil Jacovic, which is funny. Like, because we never lauded Phil Jacovic because he was a great quarterback, or we were like, yo, no, we let's just say Phil had interesting insight to certain people. that kind of permeated throughout the alumni base and upset a certain segment. Hey, I would, you know what? As much as I would like to like pour gasoline on the Tommy Reese fire right now, bro, that Alabama offense was struggling before Tommy got there.
They had Bill O'Brien. Now, you know how Bill O'Brien is, so.
Thank you. The only thing that saved that offense last year was the
Bryce
quarterback.
Young. That's it.
That's it. If Bryce Young wasn't quarterback last year, this offense would have looked the exact same. Matter of fact, the one game he was hurt and Jalen Milroe had to play against Texas A&M, you saw exactly what Alabama football was without Bryce Young. See it, Irish? I don't have a problem with Bama struggling. I tried to tell people a couple of years ago, everything is in cycles, and the Nick Saban era eventually has to come to an end, bro. It eventually has to come to an end. As dominant as he's been, he can't be at the top forever. Eventually, he's going to, and his program is going to suffer. And they are suffering right now, boy.
Mm-hmm.
They are suffering.
Even their fan base don't know how to act.
Man.
they student sections don't know how to act. They not used to that. So
I am not going to be on campus Saturday night. Left will be here in Chicago with me, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, I get there Thursday.
So Left will be here with me after the NIU. Is it a night game at NIU?
Yeah, probably. I think I gotta check it.
Let me check their schedule.
NIU versus Tulsa.
Oh, they play Tulsa.
Mm-hmm. Because Tulsa's in the new. They switch over to.
Tulsa just got banged by Oklahoma yesterday.
Yeah.
No, that's an 11 a.m. kickoff, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She,
so that means Left and I will have our tails in front at a bar in front of a TV.
yes, we will.
Because Left will be done around 2 or 3.
Yep. And then man, there's some good games. I mean, shoot, we gotta find somewhere good, man. We got all the good games that night too.
I guess if you're done around 2 or 3, we actually could drive down.
Or I can come back to Chicago because I'm leaving out of Chicago. I would come your way. Right
Yeah, that's
after.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I thought we just
hour.
yeah,
right?
we would just kick it and watch it at a bar. You know. Yeah. By the time you wrap up, it'll be about 3.
Mm-hmm.
Hop on the road, grab a bite to eat out in the western burbs.
Are we play at night, don't we?
Yeah, they play at 6:30.
Perfect.
6:30. So that's perfect.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good little time.
So if you get here Thursday, they'll probably have you staying out in the western suburbs.
Yeah, somewhere close to the school. I'll be over there. And then
Oh, they have you staying in DeKalb. DeKalb is built up now, boy. They got some nice eating spots.
oh, it's nice over there.
Yeah, they got some nice eating spots.
I thought it was still the boonies, you know.
Oh, it's in the boonies. They just built it up.
You go through the boonies and then pop up like, here we are, kind of thing.
Yeah. It's in the boonies, but Northern Illinois has a good. Northern Illinois is a very sneaky party school.
Oh.
Very sneaky party school. It's a lot of people from Chicago, public schools that end up going there.
Mm.
So, you know,
A little
Northern
more urban
Illinois,
than you would think.
yeah, Northern Illinois can be lit when it wants to be. When it wants to be. All right, bro. We'll be back to talk Marcus Freeman's press conference tomorrow. And
That's
you
right.
know what? Hey, you know what time it is tomorrow.
Mhm.
Hey, it's time to tick off some Buckeye fans all week on social
All
media.
week.
All week.
All week. I'm ready.
Man, Notre Dame fans get it their heads
Yeah.
all week. We had some Buckeye fans in here earlier talking about 14-point win, all that stuff.
I don't know how they're averaging less than 30 right now.
Man, look,
They're averaging less than 30 points a game. I'm not worried.
man, look.
Ain't nobody worried about their a little average. They got to find a way to score over 35 to think about anything with us.
Because right now I'm like, oh, we putting up 40. I don't care how it happens.
Yeah.
40's going to be on the score.
So if they haven't scored 40 all year. So I don't know how they gonna,
I think they. Oh no, bro. They put up almost 60 yesterday
against West Kentucky.
Yes.
It was close in the beginning.
No, bro. They had like 35, 40 at halftime.
It was. Oh, I got on the flight like right when it was like 7-3.
Yeah.
I got on the flight, so I'm like, oh, West Kentucky gonna give them everything they can handle.
Nah, boy. Nah. The wide receivers got loose yesterday.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. That cat Marvin and Carnell got loose yesterday.
There we go. Well, we got better DVs, so let's see how it go.
Yeah, because at first I saw the score like you said. I saw the score and I'm like, oh man, like left covered West Kentucky and they played pretty decent week one.
Week 1, yeah.
Yeah.
But Ohio State got talent, so that's gonna be apparent at some point.
See, but the key coming to this game is inexperienced quarterback and Ryan Day, who never runs the ball in big games. I guarantee you, coming out first quarter, Ryan Day is going to be trying to get deep shots.
100%.
We already know. We'll dig into it this week, but we can use Ryan Day to our advantage.
Yeah.
If we do the right thing.
He's gonna throw it right into what we want, He's gonna play right into our hands because we don't think they can throw it. They think that we can't cover. So it's gonna be one of those games where we're gonna be testing the styles of the fight,
Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear that they've been prepping for us. You better believe Notre Dame's been prepping for them since
Before the
last
season
year.
even started, yeah.
I need it. Get that. I don't just need Cam to tighten up. I need everybody to tighten up. I need the pass rusher to tighten up. Gabriel Rubio comes back. I need the linebackers to tighten up.
It's gonna be a game to remember for sure, because
And
I think we're in the right spot.
Only because of Notre Dame fans. That cat JD Teal better play the game of his life. He better play the game of his life. The way y'all talked yesterday,
to be a massive help.
He better play the game of his life. His life.
And because of the fans, not because of him. Y'all fans put that expectation on him.
Lucky Lefty podcast question of the day as we get ready to head out. If Notre Dame does not get the job done, will you be upset, disappointed, or hurt? Or all of the above?
If we don't get him now, I mean, shit, I don't know when we gonna get him.
Man, left. You might be right.
This is the year that come on, man. No excuse.
Right. And Notre Dame usually does not go into these games with the advantage at quarterback.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. You got the, yeah. I agree with you. Man, we appreciate you guys. That's the post-game show. Malik's 3 keys. We covered those, how everything went. Gave out the team grades. We graded the coordinators. And then Shaun Davis. I just had to let loose a little bit, man. I'm sorry.
That's right. You're gonna be on the message boards answering them later.
Yeah, I had to let loose, man, because I just can't do low-hanging fruit and narratives, man. I just can't. We got a better football program than that. All right. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening, man, and spend it different.